Hi, welcome back. Welcome back to my channel. So today I have a lot to talk about. I'm going to be talking about my go-to everyday favorites from the past few months, makeup products that I've really been reaching for and loving, and I also have a couple of fails too. So without further ado, let's just get into it. So we'll start off with complexion, my favorite trifecta. These three products together are like a holy grail trifecta for me. And it's the Givenchy green color correcting Prisme Libre skin caring corrector. It's the green one in combination with the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless filter and the Kosas revealer concealer. These three products on my skin make my skin look flawless, glowy, but not greasy, not glowy in a way where I look like overly dewy, but just healthy. My skin looks so healthy with these three. And something that I'm pretty stoked to report is that my mini Hollywood Flawless filter is almost empty. This is a shade 3. I'm not the biggest fan of the shade 3. I feel like it pulls kind of a little too like peachy orange on me. And the Kosas Revealer Concealer is almost out as well. As you can see, I've taken out the stoppers, really try and get all of the product out so it can be a true empty, and it's been a very messy ride. The stoppers exist for a reason, and something I've noticed on the mini Hollywood Flawless filter is just to keep in mind if you're really trying to pan something. You do own this particular mini, something to keep in mind with the Hollywood Flawless filter mini is that the stopper actually does seal the lid on, so this comes unscrewed very easily now, which is like, ugh. So I can't like put it in a to-go bag anymore. I can't really like do that. So it has to stay like upright on my vanity. But the Kosas Revealer Concealer, it just makes it more messy, but you are able to get more product. Like I'm at the very end here, but now it's just kind of sitting along the edges, so I have to like go like that. It's not the most luxurious of processes, but I really do want to use it up because these products aren't expired, so I want to, you know, make them true empties. Moving on to contour and bronzer, my first product that I've been absolutely loving the past few months and I cannot put it down is the Tower 28 Sculptino in the shade Getty. This is a really beautiful neutral contour. These are marketed as contours, but I don't find them to be like too gray. They're just bronzy enough and just cool enough that you can use it on its own and you're not gonna look like too sculpted. But if you pair it with a bronzer, it does pair very well because of its neutrality. It still sculpts the face, but it's bronzy enough that you can leave it by itself. So it's a really beautiful sheer wash of color. It blends out like that. It's just such a lovely, lovely formula, and the shade Getty is perfect. I feel like the shade Getty goes really well when I'm at my most tan, and it goes really well as I get more fair into the cooler months, which I lost my summer tan so fast this year, like a little too fast. Road construction by my house right now, so we're just gonna have to deal with random beeping in the background. So anyways, moving on to bronzer. I had a comment that was super helpful to me in one of my last videos about this bronzer for Le Fille in Rouge. I had been saying the name wrong. It's the Le Powder Bonne Mine. You pronounce it mean, not mine. So Le Powder Bonne Mine. I love this bronzer. And like the Sculptino, it's a beautiful neutral tone. Unfortunately, this is the only shade that this comes in, so it's not like accessible for all skin tones, which is a real big bummer. But it works for me, and I do feel like I have to attest to the formula to encourage, if they somehow ever see this, please make more shades. This is such a beautiful formula. It blends out so easily. It's velvety. It's thin on the face. It doesn't wear heavy. It's not splotchy. And it's such a nice shade that when on top of a more contoury product, it doesn't make it too gray, but it also doesn't pull orange at all. It's just so beautiful. I love this powder bronzer so much. It's up there with the Victoria Beckham Beauty bronzer, like hands down. I actually think I like this more than my Gucci bronzer, which I never thought I would say. Yeah, been really loving the lip powder Bonne Mine, and it's so beautiful. I love it. I would love to talk about the packaging of these two bronzers, like not bulky, like very travel friendly, very slim. Like if you needed a contour, bronzer, and a powder bronzer to take with you somewhere, look at that. Look how thin that is. You know, like very ideal, but also not cheap feeling, you know, like they're just very nice. Okay, we're gonna move on to blush now. I have 3 blushes to talk about because, you know, I love blush. First one is by Phytosurgence. This is the Skin Spark in the shade Inferno. Now this is a beautiful like reddish brown terracotta shade. It's so lovely. And another cream blush that I've been loving just as much, that is more or less the same exact color, is by Yolaine, and this is the Mousse de Rouge, and this is in the shade Praline, and this is used for the cheeks and for the lips. This product does work just as nicely on the cheeks as it does on the lips. It's such a beautiful, beautiful formula. It's nice and it's matte and moussey but not drying. It truly is a multitasking blush lip product. So I just mixed the 2 of these together, and because they're essentially the same color. The Phytosurgence is just a little bit more emollient, where the Yolaine Praline blush lip shade is moussey and matte, but mixed together they don't conflict, so I just showing you what it looks like on the cheeks, and it's just so, so lovely. Yeah, I just, either or. Do you need both? Not really. I think it's just more of a factor of what type of cream blush do you prefer. Do you prefer something a little bit more emollient? Then go for the Phytosurgence. If you like a multitasking cheek lip, more moussey matte formula, then go for the Yolaine. I also on the everyday don't mix these together because they're essentially the same color. It was more so for the purpose of the video, but I do like to wear this next blush on top of either of these. The next blush I want to talk about is from the Chanel Fall Winter collection, and this is the blush in Beige and Coral, and this is such a lovely, lovely blush. This is not baked, it's powder, it has a beautiful leaf embossing, and it's a true brownie red terracotta. It's so lovely. I don't pick up coral from this at all. I would say that if you like a terracotta blush, this is a beautiful powder option for you. And something I really love about this is that the Chanel logo is not like a spray overlay. Like this is going to go all the way through. Like you are going to have this Chanel logo up until you pan it. Basically, it's just really lovely. It has a beautiful sheen that isn't glittery. It gives you this really nice kind of ethereal glow. There's no real need to use highlighter with it, and it lays on top of kind of a sticky base immaculately. Like it doesn't stick, it doesn't patch, it's just perfect. It is so worth the money. I mean, it's a luxury beauty brand, so I mean it's expensive, but I would say that if you got it, you wouldn't be like, oh, like this wasn't worth my money. It's just so lovely. And I haven't really been able to get it out of my head. Even when I'm not using it, I'm just like, that Chanel blush I bought. Like, and that's how you want to feel about your luxury makeup. You know what I mean? I really want to talk about like the rare instance where the brush that comes with something is actually kind of good. You know, so how this goes in, it comes with like this little plastic little dish thing. I wish this was set up in the way that the Gucci bronzer is set up, where it has a little compartment where the little brush goes in with it. But this little brush, it really hugs the cheeks, you know? And if you were traveling and you wanted to take this, I would say that that brush would suffice if you want to, you know, have more room in your makeup bag. But yeah, it's a very rare occurrence that a brush that comes with something is actually like high performing. The next product is a fail. I don't like to talk about fails all that much, and they're actually like a really infrequent thing that I discuss on my channel because I try to only buy makeup that I know I'm going to use and love, and it's more so going into the thought of like, I'm going to use this makeup product up, so I'm going to buy it, versus I'm going to buy this makeup product because I want to try it. So that's something to really keep in mind when you are trying to make your makeup collection a little bit more curated and going for quality over quantity in a lot of ways. And I thought that this Summer Fridays blush was gonna be it. And here's the thing, I loved the formula. I have no qualms about how the product performed on my skin, the color, just the long wearingness of it. Like, it was everything that I thought it would be. I thought it was really lovely. This is the Summer Fridays blush balm stick in the shade Warm Desert. You can see me using it in a few videos. It's in my favorite terracotta cream blushes. It's in my latte makeup look video, and you can see that it's a really lovely blush. It's very much up my alley. It was more of like a brownie, orangey kind of terracotta. And man, this packaging just really, look at that. Is she an empty? No, because it fell out. Okay, so let me tell you, when I first purchased this product, I knew it was going to be a very emollient, very, like, it's not going to be a dry down type of blush. Like, it's going to be sticky, it's going to be dewy, it's going to be nourishing on the skin. They really market the, like, hyaluronic acid ingredient in this blush, and, like, you know, that's fine and all, but, like, is this packaging the correct packaging for that type of formula? And I have to say that it's not. I gave this packaging a pass when I first purchased this product because when I opened it in my order, all of the product was sitting inside, the whole tube was sitting inside the lid, and so I had to like mush it back in, and so it, you know, it stained everything, it wasn't as pristine, and like that's not something I care about as much, but when it's a new product, it's like, okay, like, you know, it happens. It's makeup. It's gooey. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not that persnickety about things like that. And it was also like shipped to me in the summertime, and like, so it probably got hot and like all went into the, you know, the lid. And so that was something I kept in mind, like, to mention to people. And I also saw other reviews about it saying, you know, when I got this product, it was all in the lid. And I was like, oh, that's really interesting. Like, some places, like, where, you know, these people that I watch, like, it's not as hot as where I'm living, or, you know, it's starting to like transition into fall a lot faster there. So I just kind of like thought about that, and I was like, oh, well, maybe this should have been like, you know, in a pot, like the, like Phytosurgence is a good example, or like any other like potted delivery method. Anyways, long story short, I had been actually using this like almost around every other day. Like, I was really, really liking it, and like really starting to develop a relationship with this blush. And I was, you know, planning on including it in some type of favorites video. But I opened it, and one morning I was getting ready in my bathroom, just fell into the sink. And it would have been one thing if it, like, you know, it fell into the sink and I was like, ah, like gross, and like, you know, cleaned it up and like been able to like put it back in and been like, ooh, like annoyed. But it fell down into, you know, the drain. And when I fished it out, it was just covered in like schmutz, like sink schmutz. And I had to toss it. What a waste of money. So, yeah. Anyways, Summer Fridays blush balm stick. Just keep that in mind. The formula is excellent. The color was beautiful. But the packaging, like, come on. I would say, like, the formula, like the Violette FR blush stick, the Nude Sticks blush sticks, like, even their, like, dewy formulas, they are securely in that tube. Like, I've never had any of that like fall out. The Victoria Beckham Beauty blush stick, like, it's solid enough and has like the integrity in that formula to stay in its component. Like the Phytosurgence blush in a stick form, like that would totally fall out. And so the pot like makes so much more sense. So anyway, that's enough about that. It's a fail. I wouldn't recommend, honestly. Okay, let's get back to something that I love. Phytosurgence Fractal Freesia. This is in the Flash Florescence formula. This is such a beautiful eyeshadow, and it's a perfect one and done. It's a perfect topper. It's a nice, very neutral champagne-y gold color, and it's just really lovely. It reflects the light in such a beautiful way. I love to wear this with my bronzer on my eyelids as just a little bit of depth, and then I place this on top, and it's just so lovely, and it's so easy. The formula is so interesting too. It's not a wet, gooey formula, but also when you touch it, it feels like there's some type of emollients in it. It's not the same type of emollients as the Rowan eyeshadows, but it's also not dry. So it's really, really interesting, and it's really unique, and I think the shade Fractal Freesia is so lovely. And I love the way it looks on my eyes. It's very simple, it's very sophisticated, and I love it on top of other shadows, and I love it as a one and done. So, you know, that's all you can ask for. And it's like weighty. Like, it doesn't feel like it, you know, cheap. Like, I think this is only $17 US, and you know, you can't really beat that. And staying on the eyes, I have been loving the Ilia Limitless Lash Mascara, and mainly because of the wand. I'm just obsessed with the wand. Like, the formula is really good. It's an easy wash off formula. It, you know, stays all day. I can't really say, it doesn't flake, but it can smudge, you know, like it is one to smudge, but it's just the wand, really. I think the wand is so nice. It has, one side is a kind of like smaller bristly, and then the other side is long, more like a comb. So you can really get all of the product into your eyelashes, and it's a very like wispy in a good way, but it makes your eyelashes really like separated and lengthened, and it's just a lovely mascara. What I will say about this particular mascara though is that it kind of has a weird smell to it, and it's not like it's rancid smelling, but like I would say that the way this smells, it doesn't smell good. Not the best description, but I don't know how else to say it. It just doesn't smell good. And like, I don't want any like fragrance or anything like that in my mascara, but it's like one of those things where I'm just like, this smells like how most mascaras would smell after like a few months or so, and you're just like, I think that mascara's gone off, but this mascara is fine. Like, it's always smelled like this. So I'm just wondering, like, comment down below if you've ever noticed, like, your Ilia Limitless Lash Mascara just stinky. It's stinky. You're stinky. You're so good, but you stink. Okay, second and last fail of the video. This is the Hourglass Unlocked Instant Extensions Mascara. Don't like. I don't like. And I don't think that it's, like, off per se, but it's just, you know, there was a second where I liked this. When I first got it, it was weird. It was a weird consistency. Then as it aged about a month, it was really, really great. My eyelashes looked really amazing. And then like after that, it chunky, like so chunky, which I've never experienced that before with a tubing mascara, because this is a true tubing mascara. When warm water hits it, you know, it comes off in those like very satisfying tubes. Like, you don't need any makeup remover, you don't need anything. This also flakes. Like, I've never had a tubing mascara flake before. I have with easy removable wash off formulas, but never a tubing mascara. Yeah, and it's just, it makes my eyelashes kind of chunky. I just don't ever have a good lash day when I use this. And this is like very far from being used up, which is really disappointing. Like, it's really disappointing because this wasn't cheap. This is a fail. And like, I might try and use it again to give it another, I don't know. Like, I always do this because I'm always so reluctant, you know? Like, if it's something isn't expired, like I really want to try and use it, but you know, it's knocking on expiry's door, and I'm not even close to halfway through this. Like, I never want to pick this up, Oh, I mean, Hourglass, it's just the powders for me. Like, just get their powders. My current favorite lip liner is the Tower 28 Multi-Liner. What is the shade? And this is the shade Work of Art. I think this is such a lovely formula. It's creamy, but it also sets down. It's really long wearing, and I really love the color. It goes with a lot of makeup looks that I do, a lot of other like lip products that I wear. Doesn't pull too warm, doesn't pull too cool. It's just perfect for, you know, accentuating my lips. You know, whatever the look may be. And I just think it's a really good lip liner, and it's not too expensive for, I think Tower 28 is actually like a really good, like mid-tier, like on the verge of being like a high-end brand, but I think I would consider it like mid-tier when it comes to price. Like, I wouldn't call it affordable, but I also wouldn't call it like way too expensive for what it is. And yeah, I just think that, yeah, I've been really loving Tower 28 lately. Like I would say I'm almost at a full face where I could do a full brand review, possibly. Going along with the Tower 28 multi-liner, the Chanel Rouge Coco Balm. Yes, Rouge Coco Balm in the shade 914 Natural Charm. I love it. No scent, no anything. Like, it just goes on. It's a beautiful, like, neutral, nudie brown sort of shade. You know, nothing new here. You know, neutral, nudie browns. You know, it's just so good. You know, the packaging is kind of whatever, but the performance of this is stunning. And I think that with the longevity and the thinness of it, like, it's just a really nice lipstick. And if I'm feeling a little dry, or if I just want to wear a lip balm / lip gloss that day. I actually haven't been able to put down this Summer Fridays lip butter balm. I have this in the shade Vanilla Beige. It's a nice, transparent, kind of brownie nude color. That's basically the same color as the Rouge Coco Balm, but in a lip balm, actual balm form. And I also like this by itself with no liner, or just with liner. It really sinks into my lips, and it's nourishing. It's really nice. The flavor isn't too much. It's not too much vanilla, but it's just right. You know what I mean? I think they look beautiful together. They look beautiful by themselves. Fail from Summer Fridays, but I also have my favorite from Summer Fridays. And yeah, I'm not writing off Summer Fridays. I'm just, you know, I'm really ticked off about that blush because I really liked it, but I really love this too. Okay, that's it. That's all I have to say. So those were my favorites from the past few months. Thank you so much for watching, and like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!